The requirement for spacing receptacles on opposite sides of a fire-rated wall 2 feet apart is not explicitly stated in the National Electrical Code. However, it is a widely accepted industry practice based on fire safety and circuit protection considerations. The separation distance helps prevent fire from spreading through walls by preventing flames from reaching the receptacle on the other side. This separation distance also provides adequate space for overcurrent devices, such as circuit breakers or fuses, to operate properly in the event of a fault. There are a few exceptions to this 2-foot separation requirement. Firstly, in single-family dwellings, receptacles on opposite sides of a rated wall are not required to be 2 feet apart if they are part of the same electrical circuit. Secondly, if the fire-rated wall contains special appliances, like a stove or dryer, the receptacles associated with those appliances can be installed closer than 2 feet apart, provided the distance is sufficient for proper appliance operation and maintenance. Thirdly, fire-rated compounds or materials, such as intumescent coatings, can be used to reduce the spacing between receptacles. However, these materials must be approved for use with a specific type of wall and receptacle configuration. It is always essential to consult with the local building code and electrical inspector for specific requirements and exceptions applicable to your jurisdiction. These regulations can vary, and local authorities have the final say in ensuring safety and compliance. Understanding the rationale behind the 2-foot separation, the potential exceptions, and the importance of consulting local codes will help ensure electrical installations near fire-rated walls are safe, compliant, and effective. Fire-rated walls are designed to compartmentalize a building, slowing the spread of fire and providing occupants with more time to evacuate. Maintaining the integrity of these walls is crucial for life safety. The electrical penetrations, including receptacles, can compromise the fire resistance of a wall if not properly installed. The 2-foot spacing guideline is intended to minimize this risk. However, technology has advanced, and fire-rated materials offer alternative solutions. Intumescent coatings, for example, expand when exposed to heat, sealing the penetration and preventing the passage of flames and smoke. These materials can allow for closer receptacle spacing while still maintaining the fire rating of the wall. When considering the installation of receptacles near fire-rated walls, it is vital to evaluate the specific requirements of the application. For instance, in a commercial building, the fire code may be stricter than in a residential setting. The type of wall construction also plays a role. A concrete wall, for example, will have different fire resistance characteristics than a drywall partition. The National Electrical Code provides general guidelines for electrical installations, but it does not cover all specific scenarios related to fire-rated construction. Therefore, it is essential to consult with local building officials and fire marshals to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. In addition to the spacing requirements, other considerations are important for electrical installations near fire-rated walls. The use of fire-rated boxes and fittings can further enhance the fire resistance of the assembly. These components are designed to prevent the spread of fire through the electrical system. Proper sealing of any openings around the receptacle box is also crucial. Fire-stopping materials, such as caulk or putty, can be used to fill gaps and prevent the passage of flames and smoke. Regular inspections of electrical installations near fire-rated walls are recommended to ensure continued compliance with fire safety regulations. Over time, building materials can degrade and electrical systems can be modified. Inspections can identify any potential problems and allow for timely corrective action. When making any modifications to electrical installations near fire-rated walls, it is essential to obtain the necessary permits and approvals from local authorities. This will ensure that the work is performed in accordance with applicable codes and standards. In summary, while the National Electrical Code does not explicitly mandate a 2-foot separation for receptacles on opposite sides of fire-rated walls, it is a widely accepted industry practice based on fire safety and circuit protection considerations. Exceptions may be granted in certain situations, such as in single-family dwellings or when using approved fire-rated materials. Always consult with local building officials and electrical inspectors to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that electrical installations near fire-rated walls are safe, compliant, and effective in protecting life and property. Remember that fire safety is a critical aspect of building design and construction. Fire-rated walls play a vital role in slowing the spread of fire and providing occupants with more time to escape. Electrical installations must be carefully planned and executed to avoid compromising the fire resistance of these walls. Staying informed about the latest codes, standards, and technologies is essential for ensuring the safety and integrity of buildings. By working together, building owners, contractors, and inspectors can create a safer built environment for everyone. It's also important to consider the type of occupancy when evaluating receptacle spacing near fire-rated walls. For example, healthcare facilities often have stricter fire safety requirements due to the vulnerability of patients. In these settings, a 2-foot separation rule may be more rigorously enforced, or alternative fire protection measures may be required. Similarly, high-rise buildings pose unique fire safety challenges due to the difficulty of evacuation. The building code may specify additional requirements for electrical installations near fire-rated walls in these structures. In addition to the 2-foot spacing rule, other factors can influence the fire resistance of electrical penetrations. The size and shape of the opening around the receptacle box can affect the rate at which fire spreads through the wall. Large openings should be avoided, and any gaps should be properly sealed with fire-stopping materials. The type of wiring used can also play a role. Non-metallic sheath cable, for example, is more combustible than metallic conduit. Therefore, it is important to select wiring methods that are appropriate for the fire-rated construction. The installation of smoke detectors and fire alarms is another critical aspect of fire safety. These devices can provide early warning of a fire, giving occupants more time to evacuate. Smoke detectors should be installed in accordance with the National Fire Protection Association Standard 72, which provides guidance on the placement and maintenance of these devices. Fire alarms should be tested regularly to ensure that they are functioning properly. Building owners and managers have a responsibility to ensure that their buildings are safe for occupants. This includes conducting regular fire safety inspections, maintaining fire protection systems, and providing fire safety training to employees. By taking these steps, building owners can reduce the risk of fire and protect the lives of their occupants. In the event of a fire, it is important to have a well-defined evacuation plan. The plan should include clear instructions on how to evacuate the building, where to assemble, and who to contact. Fire drills should be conducted regularly to familiarize occupants with the evacuation plan. In addition to fire safety, electrical safety is also a critical consideration when installing receptacles near fire-rated walls. Electrical shock and electrocution are serious hazards that can result in injury or death. It is important to follow all applicable electrical codes and standards to ensure that electrical installations are safe. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, should be installed in areas where there is a risk of electric shock, such as bathrooms and kitchens. GFCIs are designed to detect ground faults and interrupt the flow of electricity, preventing electric shock. Arc fault circuit interrupters, or RFCIs, should be installed in bedrooms and other areas where there is a risk of fire caused by electrical arcing. RFCIs are designed to detect arc faults and interrupt the flow of electricity, preventing fires. All electrical work should be performed by qualified electricians who are licensed and insured. Electricians should be familiar with the National Electrical Code and all applicable local codes and standards. Before starting any electrical work, it is important to disconnect the power supply to the circuit. This will prevent electric shock and electrocution. Electrical equipment should be properly maintained and inspected regularly. Damaged or worn electrical equipment should be replaced or repaired immediately. Electrical cords should be kept in good condition and should not be overloaded. Extension cords should only be used temporarily and should not be used as a substitute for permanent wiring. Electrical outlets should be properly grounded. Ungrounded outlets can pose a serious risk of electric shock. Electrical panels should be kept clean and free of obstructions. Electrical panels should be properly labeled so that circuits can be easily identified. Electrical work should be inspected by a qualified electrical inspector to ensure that it is in compliance with all applicable codes and standards. By following these electrical safety guidelines, you can help to prevent electrical shock, electrocution, and fires. Remember that electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. It is important to be aware of the hazards of electricity and to take precautions to protect yourself and others. In conclusion, spacing receptacles near fire-rated walls requires careful consideration of fire safety, electrical safety, and applicable codes and standards. While the National Electrical Code does not explicitly mandate a 2-foot separation, it is a widely accepted industry practice based on sound principles. Exceptions may be granted in certain situations, but it is always important to consult with local building officials and electrical inspectors to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that electrical installations near fire-rated walls are safe, compliant, and effective in protecting life and property. It is important to stay informed about the latest codes, standards, and technologies related to fire safety and electrical safety. While working together, building owners, contractors, inspectors, and occupants can create a safer built environment for everyone. Remember that safety is always the top priority.